Boeing. The name itself conjures images of innovation, engineering marvels, and the spirit of American aviation. It's practically an American synonym for airplane. For decades, Boeing has been the backbone of the aviation industry, a symbol of American ingenuity and reliability. They built the bombers that won World War II, playing a crucial role in the Allied victory. Their aircraft were the unsung heroes of the skies. They gave us the iconic 747 jumbo jet, a marvel of engineering that revolutionized air travel and became a symbol of the jet age. They put astronauts on the moon, for crying out loud. Boeing's contributions to the Apollo missions were pivotal in making the impossible possible. But lately, Boeing's been looking less like a soaring eagle and more like a pigeon that flew into a window. The company has been plagued by a series of unfortunate events. Things haven't been this bad for the company since the 1960s when they gambled big on a supersonic jet that never took off. It was a risky bet that didn't pay off. Remember the sleek, futuristic Concorde? That was the other guys. Boeing's attempt to compete in the supersonic race fell flat. Boeing bet on the wrong horse and it took them years to recover. The company had to rebuild its reputation and regain the trust of the aviation community. Now they're facing a whole new squadron of problems. Crashes, production delays, labor disputes, and a global pandemic that grounded air travel for months. Each issue has compounded the other, creating a perfect storm of challenges. It's enough to make even the most optimistic Boeing executive reach for the emergency exit slide. The pressure is immense, and the stakes have never been higher. The big question is, can this American icon pull out of its nosedive and regain its place in the clouds? The world is watching and the future of Boeing hangs in the balance. Or is this the beginning of a long, slow descent for the once mighty Boeing? Only time will tell if they can navigate through these turbulent times. Buckle up, folks. This is going to be a bumpy ride. The journey ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Boeing's legacy is on the line. Let's start with the financial turbulence. The aviation industry has seen its fair share of ups and downs, but few events have been as catastrophic as what Boeing experienced. Remember those two Boeing 737 MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019? They were not just isolated incidents, they were a wake-up call for the entire industry. Tragic for the victims and their families, obviously. The human cost was immeasurable, leaving a lasting impact on countless lives. But it also sent Boeing's stock into a tailspin. Investors panicked and the company's market value plummeted almost overnight. The 737 MAX, their best-selling plane, was grounded worldwide for almost 2 years. Airlines canceled orders, lawsuits piled up. The financial repercussions were staggering. It was a financial disaster. The company was bleeding money, and the future looked uncertain. Then came 2024 and another gut punch, a whopping $1.2 billion loss in just the first quarter. Ouch! This was a significant blow, even for a giant like Boeing. To put that in perspective, that's enough money to buy every single person in Wyoming a brand new Tesla. Imagine the scale of that loss, not the cheap one, the one with the biohazard mode. We're talking about the high-end models here, and if that wasn't bad enough, Boeing also got hit with a machinist strike that lasted for weeks. The timing couldn't have been worse. Thousands of workers walked off the job demanding better pay and benefits. The strike highlighted deep-seated issues within the company. The strike cost the company millions of dollars a day in lost production and further delayed the delivery of new planes. The production lines came to a grinding halt. It's like trying to fly with one wing and no engine. Boeing was in a dire situation, struggling to stay afloat amidst the chaos. Speaking of delays, let's dive into the production mess that is Boeing's current reality. It's a tale of ambition, setbacks, and a fight to regain trust. Remember those snazzy new 787 Dreamliners? They were the talk of the town, promising a revolution in air travel. These planes were supposed to be the future of air travel, fuel-efficient, long-range, and packed with fancy features that would make any frequent flyer swoon. Instead, they became symbols of Boeing's struggles, a stark contrast to the high hopes they initially inspired. Production problems, quality control issues, and part shortages have plagued the Dreamliner program for years. It was a perfect storm of complications. Planes were sitting unfinished in factories, gathering dust like neglected houseplants. Airlines were furious, and rightfully so. They were starting to doubt whether Boeing could deliver on its promises, questioning the reliability of their once-trusted partner. But wait, there's a glimmer of hope. Boeing isn't throwing in the towel just yet. Recently, Boeing has taken significant steps to address these problems. They've overhauled their production processes, aiming for efficiency and precision. They've streamlined production processes, hired more workers, and worked tirelessly to secure their supply chains, ensuring a steady flow of parts. And guess what? It's starting to pay off. The changes are beginning to show results. Delivery rates are slowly but surely increasing, a positive sign for the beleaguered company. The 737 MAX is back in the air, racking up orders and restoring some faith in Boeing's capabilities. And investors are cautiously optimistic that Boeing might finally be turning things around, though they remain vigilant. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The road to recovery is long and fraught with challenges. Boeing has a lot of ground to make up before it can declare victory. The journey is far from over, but the first steps have been taken. Now let's talk about the man at the helm of this whole operation, CEO Kelly Ortberg. Ortberg is no stranger to Boeing. He previously served as the CEO of Spirit AeroSystems, a major Boeing supplier. He knows the company inside and out. Some might even say he's got jet fuel running through his veins. When Ortberg took over as CEO in 2023, he inherited a company in crisis. His mission: restore Boeing's reputation, fix the production problems, and get the company back on track. Talk about a hostile takeover. Except in this case, the company he took over was already his. Kind of. Ortberg hit the ground running. He implemented a series of changes aimed at improving safety, boosting morale, and speeding up production. He's also been working to repair relationships with customers, suppliers, and regulators. It's like he's trying to rebuild trust with a bunch of people who just watched their Boeing frequent flyer miles evaporate. Section 5. The Spirit is willing. One of Ortberg's boldest moves was to reacquire Spirit AeroSystems. Remember them? The company he used to run? That's right. Boeing bought back its former supplier in a deal worth billions. It's like getting back together with your ex because you realized they were the only ones who could handle your baggage. The move raised some eyebrows on Wall Street. Some analysts questioned whether it was the right time for Boeing to take on such a big acquisition, especially given its recent financial woes. But Ortberg insisted that the deal would give Boeing more control over its supply chain, reduce costs, and improve efficiency. Only time will tell if the gamble pays off. But one thing's for sure, Ortberg isn't afraid to make big, strategic decisions in an effort to turn Boeing around. He's basically the Marie Kondo of the aerospace industry. Except instead of asking if something sparks joy, he's asking, will this help us build planes faster and cheaper? Section 6. Safety first. We mean it this time. Of course, none of this matters if Boeing can't build safe planes. After the 737 MAX crashes, safety became the company's top priority, or at least it should have been. Boeing has been working closely with regulators to address the issues that led to the tragedies. They've made changes to the 737 MAX's design, improved pilot training, and enhanced safety protocols. The Federal Aviation Administration has given the plane the green light to fly again, but the scrutiny on Boeing will continue for years to come. Boeing knows it can't afford another mistake. They have to regain the trust of the public, airlines, and regulators. They basically have to convince everyone that flying is still safer than driving, even if your car is built like a tank and your pilot is a nervous chihuahua. Section 7. Orders on the books. So, is there any good news for Boeing? Actually, yes. Despite all its problems, Boeing still has a massive order backlog. Airlines around the world are still eager to get their hands on new, fuel-efficient planes like the 737 MAX and the 787 Dreamliner. In fact, Boeing's order book is so full that it will take them years to work through it all. This gives them a much-needed cushion as they continue to ramp up production and work through their challenges. It's like finding out you have a secret stash of cash hidden in your sock drawer, except instead of cash, it's thousands of airplanes that cost hundreds of millions of dollars each. Section 8. The Airbus in the room. But let's not forget about the elephant, or rather the Airbus in the room. While Boeing has been struggling, its European rival Airbus has been soaring to new heights. Airbus has overtaken Boeing as the world's largest airplane manufacturer, and it's not just because they have a better name for a plane. Seriously, Dreamliner? It sounds like a cruise ship for insomniacs. Airbus has benefited from Boeing's woes, but it's also been making smart moves of its own. They've been investing heavily in new technologies, expanding their product line, and building strong relationships with airlines around the world. Boeing can't afford to rest on its laurels, or lack thereof. They need to keep innovating, improving efficiency, and winning back market share from Airbus. Think of it like this: Boeing is Rocky Balboa, and Airbus is Ivan Drago. Except instead of boxing gloves, they're using airplanes. And instead of the Cold War, they're fighting for market dominance in the global aerospace industry. Section 9. Blue skies ahead. So, can Boeing overcome its recent challenges and reclaim its title as the king of the skies? It's a tough question to answer. Boeing has a long road ahead. They need to continue to address their production problems, improve safety, and fend off competition from Airbus. But there are also reasons to be optimistic. Boeing has a new CEO with a proven track record, a strong order backlog, and a renewed focus on safety and quality. Only time will tell if it will be enough. But one thing's for sure, the future of American aviation may depend on it. No pressure, Boeing, no pressure at all.